There is no product that we have promoted more on Fightful that I use while I'm awake than NordVPN.com/Fightful. You guys have probably seen me anchored to my desk an awful lot for quite a while, and I've always got NordVPN on all my devices. That's because that's what NordVPN.com/Fightful allows. You get the fastest VPN in the world on all your devices, on all your operating systems. It is so beneficial to have that versatility. Here at home, I put it on my router just in case, and I put it on my phone, laptop, desktop, PC, and smart TV. That allows you to get all the benefits. The online threat protection, the ability to change your virtual location with just one click, the ability to use that NordPass password manager, the file encryption tool, all that good stuff on everything. Also, you can subscribe to all those overseas services I'm telling you all about, all with 24/7 tech support and a 30-day money-back guarantee on top of an already amazing deal. Protect yourself on all your devices with NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Welcome. This is Fightful's Royal Rumble post show. Of course, I am Phil Lindsey. I am with the very talented, very wonderful Iridian Fiera. How are you?
I'm doing so well, Phil. How does it feel to be the two Chicago people who did not go to the Royal Rumble? And we watched it at home.
The Midwesterners staying at home. I joked with Reg during Grapsy today. I was like, man, I see you go over there with like your Mexican co-host and do this thing on her channel, call yourself the Cali Connection. I don't know, other dreadhead teaming up with a Mexican from Chicago.
Let's do it. We need a name.
Yeah, drop in the chat if you want to try and drop us a name.
Put them in the chat, guys.
I'm terrible at naming things.
Man, what's a crazy night for wrestling, right? I had so many predictions and I only got one right. So that was the women's rumble. I said Charlotte was winning and that happened. Everything else, I was like, oh my goodness. What a great night. What did you think of the rumble overall tonight?
Yeah, very exciting show. I thought the crowd was great. It felt like a big deal. That stadium looked huge. Like all of the shots of it, I was like, there are a lot of people in there. I thought the reactions throughout the show were very good. There are a few lulls in the show. I still think they've got to figure out this match format for the show, the 5-match format, 4-match format, and there's a lot of filler in between the matches sometimes. But overall, I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, it was really great. I was still at work when the Rumble started. The timing just got to me. I was like, okay, it's going to start at 6 here. And then I'm like, wait a minute, it does not start at that time. So they had a little time change because it was in Indiana. But yeah, I did not hate the 4 matches. I was like, great, we're here. We're getting through it. I love, because the women's Rumble is going to be long. The men's Rumble is going to be long. And the other 2 matches were fantastic. So if they would have had one more match, I would have been like, okay, yeah, wonderful. But I was not mad at these 4 matches that we got tonight.
Yeah. Oh, it's gone. It ran away. There it is. No, we're not stealing their gimmick, guys. Chicago Connection sounds fun and all, but I'm not for gimmick infringement over here. That's my guy's thing. Cali Connection on Denise Salcedo's channel, but
we could get sued. They might sue us, and I don't think I have the budget for that. So we're gonna need a new name. Yeah.
No, I've seen Denise's followers. They're very devout. I don't want them coming for us.
We want no heat on that end.
But yeah, of course, if you want to get your chats read on this show, send us your super chats. And if you want to send us a chat where we get a bit more piece of the cut, send us a Humper chat at humperchats.com/Fightful. We got a new member, and Becky, appreciate you.
Thank you, Becky. Shout outs to you. You're a real one. Love to see it.
Homie Meet Normus says, more shocking, Yeet Man winning the Rumble or the Wizards winning on the road. We all knew Charlotte was winning. Yeah, I think Wizards winning on the road was a bit more shocking for me, buddy. Sorry. Sorry, DC fans. Sorry, DMV folks.
Oh man. Crazy stuff tonight. I loved that we got to see Stephanie McMahon. We usually don't get to see her, so she was on the mic tonight, and I was like, oh, oh girl, I actually would have not been mad if she would have hopped in the Rumble, which before we started streaming, I talked to you about how I also was like, I wouldn't be mad if Triple H also hopped in there. But Stephanie, I was like, okay, I like seeing her. I think we need to see her a little bit more. So it was just nice to have her on the mic tonight.
Yeah. Stephanie, of course, opened the show. I thought we were getting King of Kings, but we got the Queendom where the queens bow down instead. She came out, opened the show. Wasn't expecting her to come out. She got the big announcement this week as well that she's getting her edition of Places on ESPN.
Yeah.
So a little synergy there.
Yeah. Excited to see that. They also announced during the commercials, I know they had a couple things of like, oh, Evolve. And I was like, oh my God, I used to go to Evolve shows. That's crazy. Like now they're having Evolve officially and it's going to be on Tubi. So interesting. I might have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah. Roderick saying Shy City Express.
Oh,
it's in the suggestion box. It's in the suggestion box.
Keep them coming, guys. We're going to be here all night.
We'll come up with something. From Dream Ninja 7, he says, you can tell how happy the other talent was for Jey. Yeah, I think that's awesome. You can see how long he's been at this, and you can see how much people really believe in him. I think that's dope.
Yeah, you know, man, I know we'll talk about this later, but when it came down to Cena and to Jey, I'm like, man, it could really go either way. Like I was really rooting for Cena, but them being the last two, I was just thinking about the year that Jey has had and just how the fans have really been able to just band behind him and the energy that he's got, just the momentum. I honestly think it was a perfect moment for him. And I also agree with, I think that people backstage were very, very excited for him. So he's going to WrestleMania and we're going to see him there. So
yeah. We got one from Will Chisholm. He says, I'm glad a lot of NXT women got to shine and got some pops. Yeah, I agree.
God, seeing Stephanie Vaquer show up there just made my heart so happy. I was genuinely so excited to see a lot of the NXT women have their moments, especially within the first, 10 minutes, Roxanne was in there and she proved herself worthy because she stayed for a very long time. And that definitely shows the dedication that she's, it's paying off, the dedication that she's had in NXT and how highly they value her to put her in that number 3 spot. So I was excited for her.
Yeah, I thought this stamped her for sure. She's going to be the future of this division. From Rafael Garcia, he says, good evening, Phil Iridian. Tale of two halves for this Rumble. Probably wouldn't have put Nikki at 30. That was a choice, but they made up for it with Jey. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Is this supposed to be Nikki hate? Because there's none of that here. She's my triplets, and the proof is on my Twitter. So there's no Nikki Bella hate here. And she's got a t-shirt up on WWE Shop, which I will be purchasing after the stream tonight. So they put that up immediately.
Yeah. Ryan Lambert says duo named the Portilhos. I don't know. I don't know about that one, but appreciate the suggestion, Ryan.
Honestly, that one's funny. That one is
pretty funny.
Portilhos.
From Zach Schmel, he sent a very generous super chat. He says, for Phil and Iridian, you both do great work for our shows. It's great to see you both on the Rumble show. Much love to Fightful staff and community. My bingo card was almost perfect. This explains Cena advertising for Elimination Chamber. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought as well. I talked about that earlier on Grapsity, that they have promoted him very heavily for Elimination Chamber, and that made me think that he was losing.
Really? Right off the bat? Okay, I wasn't too sure that they would give it to Cena. I honestly thought they were going to give it to CM Punk, but I know we'll get to that. But yeah, they have to squeeze everything that they can out of John Cena this year. So of course they're going to stretch out this storyline. He's probably going to get the win at Elimination Chamber because you know how much advertising they did for like, oh my God, it's John Cena's last Rumble. Of course they're going to be, it's John Cena's last Elimination Chamber and his last WrestleMania. Everything is going to be his last. So in that terms of advertising, they're probably going to wait till the last minute to give John Cena his WrestleMania match. And then once they do, they're going to promote the hell out of it. And guess what, Cena? I'll see you at WrestleMania. I
Yeah.
got my jersey, bedazzling it. It's ready to go.
From Talking Shop, Midwest Militia.
Maybe, but I do like the Chicago theme, the Chicago centric names. So if we can throw that in there somehow, who knows? Maybe we'll just put the 4 stars over our name somewhere, Phil, and that'll be. That's what Punk does. He just puts the 4 stars out there and calls it a day. You know.
Can't beat it. From Margie Loves, she says, "Hi CM Cuties, loved the NXT rep in the Women's Rumble. Loved Oba and Trick in there. Yeah, I thought we were gonna see Oba or Trick.
Mm-hmm. You know what? That's crazy that we didn't see Trick. That slipped my mind. Like, I mean, yeah, we saw Carmelo, great, but interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of people who, we talked about this before the stream too, that we were like, I wonder why they were not in the Rumble. But let's talk about this women's match because it makes my heart happy. I don't know how you feel about the women's match, but I'm always super excited to see it, especially because it's so new. And I think that it makes my heart flutter anytime I see it. And seeing it start off with Liv Morgan and with Io Sky, I was like, oh my God, here we go. I'm super excited. Like, are we going to see veterans? Are we going to see a lot of NXT talent? And to see Roxanne at number 3, I was like, man, props to Roxanne. Cause like I said, she's worked her butt off in NXT, and just to have those women be the first 3, absolutely applause to them because they really killed it. Shout outs to all the women in the Rumble tonight. I think they did a fantastic job. But was there anything that stood out to you in the women's Rumble tonight?
I thought most of the stuff that they did coming out the gate to open this, I think you starting with Roxanne feeling like a big part of this Rumble, coming in at number 3, lasting all the way to the final 4. I think that was huge for her. That shows that they definitely are invested in her coming to the main roster and making her a big part of this division. So that was exciting to see. I was glad that EO lasted very long here because EO's had a great year from the WrestleMania match with Bayley last year on, and she's looked great this year on Raw. I thought she was going to end up being one of the final 4. But she did get pretty close. I think like straight away, just watching both, I thought the men's Rumble was paced a bit better. But this match, I thought that it gave us some great moments. It's not so much that I don't like the decision to put Nikki in. I thought at 30, that's a high expectation to put on the 30th person because we hadn't seen Jade at that point, and people were still thinking maybe Becky. And then once it got there and it was Nikki, I was like, oh, okay. I'm not mad at it, but
no, I get you. I did not expect Nikki Bella to be that number 30, but she was in my predictions that she would be in this year's Rumble. I thought it was just good timing. She was just on that red carpet a while ago, and that just tells me that whatever beef that the Bellas had with the WWE is now, squished. So I'm happy that that's happening, that we're getting this reconnection with Nikki in WWE. I was kind of waiting for AJ Lee. I know some people are like, that's delusional because why would AJ Lee show up? But I was like, you know what? Maybe there is a chance. Everyone was asking Punk about it. And after the year that he's had because he's behaved, I thought maybe they would have showed up. But maybe next year, maybe we'll get AJ. Maybe she's waiting for what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought AJ was a bit far-fetched. I think with the news we got to start the year, that Becky was signed after the summer of being a free agent, and she didn't show up on the Raw debut on Netflix. I thought this is where we were going to see her, and for her to not be here, I don't know when we see her then. I'm not sure. Will she factor into WrestleMania at this point?
No match at WrestleMania? That's crazy.
That's what I'm wondering, because I thought for sure we would see her here, and when we didn't, I don't know what that means. It's kind of the same way with Jade. I thought we were going to get some hints of, advancing this whodunit on SmackDown. I thought we were going to get something out of this, but that was more shocking to me than anything that we didn't see Jade at all.
Yeah. Someone that I liked seeing, and I think really had a really improved Royal Rumble was Chelsea Green. You know, she
Mhm.
came into this match a champion. She lasted longer than the other Rumbles that she's had, which props to her. But man, I just thought Chelsea is just so great, and the fact that she got to really shine this year, I was excited to see that. And we got a lot of NXT people, like, you know, our watchers and followers mentioned. We got to see Lash Legend, which I was super excited to see her in the Rumble. I'm like, oh my God, yes. And I'm waiting for when she finally gets a big role. You know, I think she has been kind of under people's radar, but I think, you know, being in the Rumble is a big deal. You know, they don't just put you in the Rumble if you're not doing anything. But seeing Lash Legend there, fantastic. Getting to see Stephanie Vaquer was incredible. I think she absolutely killed it. And just shout out to also BFAB, who is fantastic. I think she's also just been improving every week that we see her on TV. We got to see some really great stuff. Let's talk about Jordan Grace. Like, she's finally in WWE as a talent, as a WWE. Why are you? You're like,
Lie to us, man. Lie to us, Jordan. Said you're going to be spending the night with your mother, celebrating her birthday. Your mother is at home with a cake and a single candle in it in front of her, and you are in Indianapolis. Lies. Shame on you, Jordan Grace.
shame. But man, we knew she was coming out tonight, right? Like, we knew.
Of course we did.
I I guess the only question that I had was like, is she also joining the men's Rumble? I feel like that's a valid thing, that maybe she could have also joined the men's. I wouldn't have been mad at it. You could have put her instead of Speed, whatever that was.
Yeah, I mean, her being in the men's, that immediately makes me think of All In. Of course, she was at All In. She was in the big over the top battle royal, over the budget battle royal. I mean, so she would have fit in there perfectly.
Yeah.
But I thought she was great here, showing up. I loved her giving Naomi a hug, and Bianca like, whoa, who's this?
Yeah.
What are you doing here? It's a free for all. This ain't this ain't what this is.
Yeah.
I love that, man. The way she picked Piper up with ease, that was crazy. Like, she picked her up like she was a small child, and just like I was like, what?
Didn't break a sweat at all. I was extremely impressed. Same thing with, I believe, who was it? Ivy Nile. She had like a double German suplex to
Yes, she
Chelsea
looked
and
great.
Roxanne. I was like, oh my God. And those are just the really cool moments that you wouldn't get to see otherwise, because in a match like this, really anything goes. So to have those cool moments like that, you're like, you really get to see the power of these wrestlers. And I love that. I think it's so cool. So she had a really good showing. But also, we got a return tonight of Little Miss Bliss. Alexa Bliss is back. Oh my God. Are you excited? Are you not excited?
I mean, yeah, the because I immediately just thought about commentary, which I'll get to in a second. But I
Yeah.
thought she came out and she made the best of her moment. I was very surprised that she got kicked out by Liv, because she came in and got a massive pop. I mean, one of the loudest pops of the night. And I thought, of course, that's going to get heat on Liv, but man, with what they had with her in that moment, I was surprised that that's how she got put out. And that crowd was not happy when she got eliminated. They were very, very upset.
Yeah. A valid point. Same thing. I think Pat McAfee was on commentary, be like, my wife and all of Indiana is so upset that Alexa Bliss just got eliminated.
Yeah, but I don't know if you caught it on commentary, but when she came out, Cole immediately yelled, "Man, I thought she wasn't coming." And I said, "Oh, WWE just kind of outed themselves for feeding people bad information." And
I did not catch that. Interessante.
yeah, basically outed themselves for feeding media false information. And then when she came out, like, look, I thought the dirt sheets knew everything.
Playing everybody, really playing everybody. But Alexa got in there. She did not miss a beat. She was looking as good as ever. And this feud, like, she's got a couple options that she can go back to. So I'm really excited about that. Zelina Vega's gear, fantastic. And then they
Yeah.
also announced that, she was moving to SmackDown, and they also did that with Damian Priest later in the men's match. But in the men's match, I was like, okay, Zelina's here. Does that mean that we're getting a certain somebody else in the men's, which didn't happen? But
That's what I thought. I thought we were getting Aleister
right?
Black as well, but it's fine. But yeah, I thought they both looked great. Loved the small detail of Alexa coming out with Fiend Forever on the back of her jacket. That was awesome. But yeah, I thought she had a great moment. Like we said earlier, Roxanne made the best of this Rumble for certain. Charlotte coming out and getting this massive entrance, getting the big pyros, immediately just was like, I'm going to soak this in. I am not running down to this ring. You're getting me at this pace. I am about to walk this entire ramp at this same pace. You're getting this whole pyro. You are getting an entire pay-per-view entrance. I am not running.
And she didn't need to, because they kept zooming out on how long that ramp was to the ring. And I'm like, girl, take your time. I was not about to run either, because my knees couldn't do it. Couldn't do it right now. So
But by the way, we're still getting tag team names. Second City Strong Style is a humble name suggestion. I'm not mad at it. I like it. I like
that was cute. That was cute. You
it.
can put it on a t-shirt.
We had one more that I think I just scrolled past.
The Second City Express. I see that one.
Yes.
That one's
Second City
cool.
Express. Appreciate you, Leron, for it.
I mean, good names, guys. You're really we're everyone is better than the last one, so let's keep them coming. We got 3 more matches. Okay, hold on. Let's talk about Charlotte coming back, because of course she was announced before the Royal Rumble, which honestly pissed me off, because I hate when people announce themselves into the Rumble. I know it's like people used to do it, and they used to have the little, little bingo balls, and they'd be like, oh, I'm going to be number 12 or whatever. But
man, that's a throwback. The bingo, the lotto balls, yeah.
I'm like, man, that really takes away from me literally the surprise of the show. But I guess we were surprised. We didn't know when she was going to come out, so that kind of played into like the excitement of the match too. And I also thought, okay, they can't just announce Charlotte and not have Charlotte win. So I'm like, did they just kind of spoil it for themselves? Or are we going to get a bigger person coming out? Which I guess, we got Alexa and we got Nikki. So
we got Trish at 25 to celebrate her 25-year anniversary, which was a great moment.
Oh, I love Trish so much. I love Trish. And I also thought we were going to get a couple of other people. I would have liked to see Melina in there. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Mickey was there. It would have been nice to see her in the Rumble.
Yeah, we could have gotten Carmelo. Or we could have gotten
Where are you? Where are you? Are you like in the closet?
I am in a parking lot calling in to give you guys scoops right now.
Hey!
I am on the road. I didn't get to stay for the presser. Listen, I am a suit guy now. I don't know if you guys have seen. I'm a suit guy now. Wow. I was getting like an allergic reaction on my neck. It was rough, but had my lovely wife with me tonight. It was her first Rumble, and I didn't want to drag her to the presser. But listen, people can get pre-mad for me at a press conference I'm not at. Very excited for that. But lots of scoops. Can you all hear me okay and everything?
Yep.
We can.
Wonderful. So lots of stuff to get into. FightfulSelect.com, best $6 a month in the business, $64 a year in the business. You have this gentleman, to whatever direction he is to me, that does Ask Grapsody every couple weeks, which is phenomenal.
There you go, left.
You may have seen a couple mentions of those dirt sheets tonight. I'll tell you who they weren't mentioning.
Yeah,
boys. Right here, because I didn't report anything about Alexa except for she was coming back tonight, and we had that in our scoops thread this afternoon. Angelo Dawkins, that little scoundrel, was walking around. No, he wasn't walking around. He was hopping around town on crutches. And I did ask, I'm like, is he hurt? What's going on? But I didn't report anything about it that outside of, I think he was on crutches, but like, don't know that he's hurt. Very clever on his behalf. There were some people earlier this week reporting Becky was going to be in town. No, she was home chilling, not planned for this Rumble. AJ Lee was never planned for this Rumble. She they said that basically she knows if she wants to come back, she can. We did report, however, last week that Jordynne Grace was not just signed last week, but in town and in the Rumble. Roxanne Perez, Stephanie Vaquero, AJ Styles, Nikki Bella, all in town. We had that. I'm told Nia Jax is actually supposed to eliminate more people than she did, which is funny. Yeah. I mean, man, we're going to have so much on Fightful Select. I'm going to have a whole lot more on Jordynne Grace's deal. There is a lot to it. It's a very long-term deal as well. Believe she's taken a bit of a pay cut from her previous life. And I'm not talking about the TNA deal, that's for sure. But she is definitely like appreciated where she is right now based on the people that I was speaking with. I know TJ Wilson, Petey Williams, Kenny Dykstra helped produce the women's Rumble. I know that Shane Helms helped with the men's. I don't know who else was in that, but man, this was a wild weekend. I went to the 2K event. Roman Reigns stopped by through there. I didn't expect that, but that was interesting to see. Talked to a few wrestlers. There was not much by the way of content gotten at this Royal Rumble weekend, but did some 2K stuff and all that. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys. You guys always do a great job hosting these when I'm traveling, and they're the pay-per-view A team at this point. These two lovely human beings. But
Stop it.
My God, how did you all feel about listen? I'll save it for when you guys review it. So I won't ask you how you felt about the end. I couldn't believe the end of that show.
Yeah. Big shocking ending.
I almost had a stroke. I felt my heart beating so fast. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, our dudes at BetOnline AG, like the odds were shifting over the last day, but I didn't see Jey moving into those odds. So if somebody put money on that, they won some good money on that. I did not expect that to happen. I absolutely did not. Shocking and good on them for like throwing a wrench into everything, because I didn't see that coming whatsoever.
Yeah,
but
I think that Cena was still the favorite to win as of Thursday night going into Friday. By this morning, Punk was the favorite to win. And it certainly seemed that way because Punk was doing all of the interviews and all of the press leading up to it. So I don't know. I did not think that Jey was going to win, though.
And how insane is Elimination Chamber looking, which I don't think Jey can go to Canada, can he? Or is he able to now?
I don't know.
No, now he doesn't need to.
Yeah, now he doesn't need to. He doesn't. He's like, screw Canada. He's like, man.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna hop off here, make the 3-ish hour trek back home to Lexington, Kentucky. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys, and you do a wonderful job as always.
Thank you. You are too kind, Sean. You are too kind. Thank you.
Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com.
$6. Best $6 in the business. Look at that. Who else gives you all of the scoops that you need besides Mr. Sean Ross Sapp himself? Senor Sapp. Love to see it.
He needed a flashlight. I don't know how he could see his phone in front of his face.
That was crazy. It was so dark in that car. He should have turned on one of the little lights.
Yeah, it looked that looked very shady, man.
He looked like he was under the ring.
Yeah. Mr. Showtime says, in honor of one of my favorite local spots, Chicago Bagel Authority, CBA, how about Chicago Wrestling Authority? I kind of like that one, the best out of the ones we've gotten so far.
CWA, that's crazy. I like that.
We also got, in honor of Public Transit System, the CTA, Chicago Thin Crust Authority.
And then we can have we can be a pizza and our faces can be on the slices as the toppings. That's crazy. I love it.
I don't know that we need to go that far with it, but details.
It's okay. I'll have the visual for next time we're together. So,
I mean, I'm liking CWA. That for me, that's probably the best one we've gotten so far.
We'll have all the options. I got it. Oh my
But yeah,
god.
great women's rumble.
Mhm.
I think the pacing of it, there were parts of it that were the little lulls. When it felt like at one point the ring had filled up with a bunch of people, and I
Yeah.
was sitting around looking like, okay, we got to get some eliminations going. How are we gonna clear this ring? And turns out they went with this very clunky spot that I wasn't the biggest fan of, where they had a bunch of women on the apron trying to eliminate each other, and then Nia just walks up and just pushes all of them out.
Okay. Might be we have differentiating opinions on this. I did not hate that. I was like, that's hilarious. I like it. Sometimes it happens. You got to always be aware of your surroundings in the Rumble. It is what it is.
Yeah, I get it. You had to get a way to clear the ring, and then you had to get a way to give Nia the big
The big, like,
number
oh
of.
my God, Nia did it. She's
Yeah,
taking all these people. Yeah.
but it kind of felt like a rush way to give her the big 9 eliminations for the night, because I believe that was the final tally for her of
Mm,
9 eliminations. So she had, of course, the most eliminations in the match, but I wasn't really a big fan of how they got there. It felt kind of
no.
rushed, and I think it took away some of the suspense of the final four. Because a lot of times with Royal Rumble matches, when it gets to like those little small interactions, like we got in the men's match where there are just 3 people left in there, I don't
Mhm.
think we got that here, because like right after Nia eliminated everybody with that big push, there were some big names in that pile that she pushed out:
Yeah.
Bianca, Io, and so at that point, when it was just Nia and Charlotte and Roxanne in the ring, and I believe there was somebody else in the ring that I'm forgetting, I was like, okay, well, Charlotte's winning, because
Yeah.
when you look at everybody's in there, Charlotte's winning.
Yeah. Who was who was it? Charlotte and Roxanne, who were the last two, I believe.
Yes. Charlotte and
And
Roxanne were the final two, which is wild. Roxanne making it all the way to the final two. Great stuff.
crazy from being at number 3 is crazy. I don't remember what her final numbers were, but man, props to her. I think I'm going to be giving her flowers all year because she's amazing. But yeah, I'm not mad that Charlotte won the Rumble. I'm excited to see her at WrestleMania. I think Charlotte gets a lot of unnecessary heat, but when it comes down to it, she's a phenomenal wrestler. And she does know how to work the audience. She knows how to make an entrance. She knows how to cut a promo. And I think whoever they put her with at Mania, that other person is also going to have a fantastic match. So I'm
Yes.
excited to see whoever she fights.
Yeah, the final four were Roxanne, Charlotte, Nikki Bella,
Mm,
and Nia Jax.
yeah.
Trying to
Which
get.
when Nikki got in there, I said, nobody touch her neck. Everybody stay away from her because because I am stressed.
But yeah, like you said, Roxanne lasted all the way up from the 3rd spot.
Mhm.
They don't have the time on here, unfortunately. I was looking
Oh,
for the amount of time she was in the
they'll have it up
ring.
tomorrow when we don't need it.
Yeah, well, speaking of those little stats, what did you think of the little ticker across the bottom throughout the night? And, just the innovation of being
Yeah.
able to see how many people are active in the ring, how many people are left, what entrance was next. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, you know what? I thought that was really, really cool. I do hope that they incorporate it in the following rumbles. It wasn't distracting at all. It was very helpful to see, oh, like
Hmm.
this is how long this person has lasted instead of commentary bringing it up because commentary has a lot to say during a rumble match. There's so much going
Yes.
on. So in order to just kind of see everything visually, you're like, this is what number they have. This is who's in the ring right now. This is the number that's coming up. And, instead of the big going to the jumbotron for the countdown, you got it on the bottom of your screen. And I was like, oh, okay, this is great. I didn't mind it. Thought it was really a really great new thing that they're gonna hopefully be using more of. What did you think about it?
I thought it was good. It definitely felt like Lee Fitting's fingerprints were all over this. This felt
Mm.
like an innovation straight from ESPN. It had that same,
Same
it had this,
feeling.
yeah, it had the same feeling. But I did think it worked. At first, I was looking around like, is this going to be on the screen the whole time? But
Hope
the longer it was there, the more I got used
you
to
got
it.
used to it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I liked
Uh,
it. It was good.
Roderick is giving us another name suggestion. He says Midnight Marauders. I mean,
Mm.
Midwest Marauders. Sorry. I'm thinking of the
It's good.
Tribe album. Sorry.
Man, I kind of wish Charlotte came back to her like old theme. I don't I'm not like a big fan of the current theme that she's got, but it is what it is. I just really wish I heard a different theme tonight.
No, you're getting this EDM Ric Flair music. You're gonna get this EDM Ric Flair music, and you're gonna like it.
Till WrestleMania, you're gonna hear this song.
But yeah, Charlotte did look great. I thought when she first got in there, House of Fire hitting the big boots. She hit that double DDT at one point. She looked great. I can't say that was the most exciting outcome for me, Charlotte winning. It felt a bit anticlimactic, especially if you're expecting other things to happen within. It's like maybe seeing Becky, maybe seeing other people in here. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Like I said, we did get great moments like Trish coming in. I thought Trish looked great in the spots that she was in. Man, you got to give Trish all the kudos in the world. Every time she comes back, she brings it. It doesn't feel like she doesn't belong with this crop of women. And she came from a time period where it was still questioning, can the women go? They were still doing the bra and panty matches. They were still trying to get past this stigma of being the bathroom break. And every time she comes back, she shows she belongs. And can't say enough great things about her.
And every time she gets a fantastic pop. And,
Mhm.
I know you're not going to be able to bring back Trish and Lita for every Royal Rumble because, you're going to need variety. And sometimes you don't get a lot of vets. Like in the men's Rumble, we didn't see any veterans of wrestling that we haven't seen in a long time. But man, it's just, they can really work. Trish can work. And if we can see her every single Rumble, why not? Same thing with Mickie James. I know there's some names that we were kind of expecting to see that also weren't there. Victoria, I know she just got
Yeah.
her Legends contract, so I was kind of hoping that we saw her. And I know Carmella, I was waiting to see when she's going to come back, but
Yeah, I think she's still injured. I think she's still dealing with some complications
yeah,
after her pregnancy. I
yeah.
think that's what it is. If I read correctly.
hmm then stay home, ma'am. So sorry. But yeah, there's a lot of women. There's just so many options, right? And it's tough because there's only 30 spots, so you can't always have in there who you want. But I think the Nikki Bella thing at 30 was to show that everything's okay with the Bellas and with WWE because we know they
Yeah.
didn't leave on the best terms because WWE did not give them the Bella name, and then they had to change their name, their entire brand basically to the Garcia twins.
What a weird time.
Crazy,
And it
right?
just came and went too.
Yeah. Oh, craziness. But yeah, let's move on to the next match.
Yeah, let's get into some more of our super chats. I was trying to save
Mm.
some of our super chats for the women's match.
Yeah.
So if you sent in a super chat about the women's match, I did not forgive about you. I was just
We're
trying to
getting
keep
to it, guys. We're getting to it.
I was trying to keep some just in case. We got one from Jared. He says, Women's Rumble had 5 NXT wrestlers. Men's Rumble had none. Damning indictment on the state of the NXT men's division. I didn't even think about it that way, but I think you're right. We've been saying for a while they've got to build up that world title picture down there. And maybe that's why they didn't want to rush and bring Trick up so soon. Maybe they're still trying to build up some guys around there. But I thought for sure we were going to see Trick Williams, especially when Carmelo was in there. But maybe next year.
Maybe next year. It's crazy that we didn't see Trick at all. But someone that I was hoping to see in the men's, I know they're still very fresh in NXT, but William Regal's son, I believe Charlie Dempsey, because he's done a lot of like blood sport. They sent him to New Japan for a little bit, I believe, and he's been really working hard on NXT. So I thought that would have been cool to see. But there was just a lot. There was so many spots. I mean, we could have gone without seeing some of the men who came out in the men's rumble, but we will get to that. We'll get to that later.
Yeah. From Steven, he says Bliss and Morgan feud. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Maybe Alexa is going to get a tag team partner, and that'll be a big feud for the tag belts. But you got so many options now because you have 4 belts for the women. You have the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title as well. So I think that that's a route you could go. It clearly seems like they're setting up Ivy versus Lyra as well because Ivy eliminated Lyra.
And that is going to be a banger too, because I was very impressed with what I saw with them in the ring tonight. And yeah, there's just so many feuds that Alexa can go into. I would definitely see her in a storyline with Liv in some kind of spookiness, with Liv being in the Judgment Day, and then, Dominic getting involved, but not really, because Alexa's got her little doll. She's got Lily. There could be some little vibes there, a little hocus pocus going on. Who knows? Lily could start ruining the life of Dominic Mysterio. Could you imagine? He's going to get his chicken tenders all on the floor in the locker room. Like, she could cause chaos in Dom's life. So I think there can be a fun story in here.
I forgot about the Lily stuff, to be honest. I completely forgot that was a thing.
Well, you better remember, because it's coming up.
Yeah, she was on a t-shirt, and they did make a lot of money selling those dolls. So yeah. I do expect to see it again. It's not necessarily for me, but
it's not your vibe, but it's someone's vibe. Yeah.
From Nicholas763, he says, happy to see Roxanne, an NXT superstar, be the runner-up, hold the longest record ever based off of the booking for her. I'm excited for her on the main roster. Yeah, it definitely seems like they're setting up Bayley versus Roxanne. When you know who they're both heavily influenced by, that makes a lot of sense. And again, when you look at the influences, she's clearly influenced by AJ. And so when Nikki got in the ring, she made a beeline for Nikki. I thought that was a great moment for her.
Man, it's, again, with Roxanne, there's just so many ways that she could be utilized on the main roster. I could even see her having a great storyline with Zelina Vega. Like, they are similar stature, similar size. Her and Roxanne, I think, would absolutely kill it. But at the same time, yeah, that feud with Bayley would be fantastic. That is a WrestleMania match. And you have time to build up to it. Like, they haven't been building up to it already, but you have that time now to be like, man, they could have a really, really good match at Elimination Chamber, or they could imagine Roxanne in the Elimination Chamber. First of all, that would be crazy. It would be cool to watch.
Yeah. I would like to see it. I think somebody that makes all the sense in the world for the Intercontinental Championship is Roxanne as well, with her being like a workhorse technical wrestler.
Yeah.
I think that makes perfect sense for that belt. So
I'm so glad you didn't say Chelsea Green, because I need Chelsea to maintain that championship, because she is doing such an excellent job as the United States champ. I can't picture anyone else holding that title right now.
yeah, she was a lot of fun in the Rumble. I think her and Piper are hilarious together. The Secret Harvest thing that they're doing together is very funny. I enjoyed it a lot. I enjoyed it when when Piper's coming down to the ring and Chelsea's like, yeah, come on, we got him now. And I was like, I don't think that Piper's going to rush down there. I don't think she's going to run. Once she got down there, it was like, yeah, we're lit. We're together now.
I'm telling you, that ramp tonight was so long. And I feel like it's been that long for a couple years now, where they're just like, yeah, let's just extend it all we can. But I'm like, how are people seeing into the ring? The people who are right in front when the superstars are coming out definitely are not seeing the action in the ring, right? Like, that was far.
Yeah. The way Chelsea was eliminated also was very funny. The poor Chelsea.
My poor girl.
She tried to make some friends too. I thought it was great the amount of black representation we got in this match, from B-Fab to Naomi, Bianca, Jada, Lash. At one point, there were 4 black women in this ring. That was awesome. But like, they were looking to bond, and then Chelsea tried to get in the middle, like, yeah, we're friends, right? And they were like, no, we're not.
Which was crazy, because the whole match, she was just trying to make friends, and commentary kept mentioning it, like, Chelsea's just trying to work with somebody. She's trying to make friends, and nobody was having it tonight except for Piper. And even then, Piper eliminated her by accident, but it still happened. So do we really have friends in the Royal Rumble? I don't think so.
No, you do not. But yeah, these things happen. Just to wrap up, Charlotte Flair was your winner. I felt like the ending was a bit rushed, but Charlotte is your winner. Who do you think that Charlotte is going to challenge at WrestleMania?
Man, I honestly think it's going to be Tiffany Stratton. I would love it to be Rhea Ripley, but I know we've seen that match a couple times. And even at WrestleMania, we've seen that match. But this time Rhea Ripley is not the same Rhea that's faced Charlotte before. But I would just love to see her and Tiffany Stratton. I think the gears would be phenomenal. The entrances would be iconic. And Tiffany has really come into her own as a wrestler. And I could say that she has the same athleticism as Charlotte. So I think they would be very, very well matched up. And that's who I want to see her go against at Mania. Do you have a preference on who Charlotte faces?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Tiffany as well. I want to see a different matchup for Charlotte. This makes a lot of sense with the feud she had with Becky in NXT. And if you're trying to level up and wrestle the next horsewoman up, makes sense for it to be Charlotte. And then, Charlotte has been a SmackDown wrestler for most of her career. So I'd have to assume she's going to try and stay on SmackDown.
Stay on SmackDown. Yeah. Interessante. Which, funny enough, when they announced Charlotte, I was like, oh, Andrade's going to get storylines now. Like, we're going to see this man start cooking because Charlotte is back. And, that's a power couple right there. When I'm working, you're working. So I'm glad that Andrade's getting some time now.
Yeah. From Will Chisholm, he says, Bayley and Roxanne going to try and get AJ Lee to a comeback like how KO and AJ tried to get HBK back for one match. Yeah, definitely.
Man. And that super kick that KO was just like, who was it? Yeah, did he super kick Sean? Did Sean super kick KO? What happened? One of those
that was
things
Saturday Night Main Event. Yeah. Sean super kicked him.
Which I was like, okay, Sean, this could be your time to come back. One last thing, but I don't think Sean's coming back. Sad girl vibes.
Unfortunately, a lot of people get old, and I would rather him, admit his limitations and not try and get in there and have a bad match. It's fine.
Totally understandable. People like to go out on their own terms, which is why I'm glad that John Cena's having his retirement year this year. He was fully dedicated to wrestling, and he's like, this is it. This is what I'm going to give, and then I'm out of here. Well, I still can. Very respectable, because a lot of people don't know when to call it quits.
Yes. If you want to go out on your own terms and you don't want to call it quits, Blue Chew is the place to be for you.
We've been telling you guys about Blue Chew for years, and we ain't stopping anytime soon. That confidence, that performance, that edge that you're going to get in the bedroom and mentally when you check out BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. First shipment free. Yes, shipment. That's because you don't have to wait in line at the pharmacy, have any awkward conversations with doctors. You're questioned online, and if approved, this ships straight to your door. It excludes all the awkwardness. Now listen, so will that confidence. That's going to get rid of a lot of that awkwardness as well. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You know it's going to work. They know it's going to work. And that's why they're willing to give you that first shipment free at BlueChew.com when you use that code FIGHTFUL. Take control. Handle your business. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
What a transition there.
Listen, if you want to go out on your own terms, if you want to take your career into your own hands,
to the next level.
BlueChew.com. Promo code FIGHTFUL. We've got a big tag team match on this card as well. I was excited to see some tag team wrestling on this pay-per-view. I thought that the tag team division was very underserviced in 2024. And so I was excited to see the first pay-per-view of the year that the tag teams were here. And I thought that these were two good teams to have here. I think that they could have did a bit more with the stipulation, because when you think 2 out of 3 falls match, it kind of has finality to it. It feels like this is like the definitive way to end this feud. And we didn't really get a definitive win here.
Honestly, I would have had it be a Falls Count Anywhere match, and they could have really used the arena to their advantage. I love Falls Count Anywhere matches. They're one of my faves. And yeah, I think, honestly, it should have been best out of 5 instead of 3. Just because I wanted to see a little bit more. I honestly think it was kind of a short match, or maybe it just went really quick to me. I don't know what it was. But yeah, I think Motor City Machine Guns have really just revamped the division, which I think is what it needed. But DIY has been such a staple in WWE, and I think they just weren't getting utilized properly. So to have them be the champions and kind of had this feud with another great, fantastic tag team, I think this is what we've been needing in the division. And I honestly did not expect the night to go how it went in this match. I honestly thought Motor City Machine Guns was going to pick it up, but then nope, because who comes out of the blue? Street Profits. So bad girl summer.
Yeah, I expected DIY to retain here because it felt like they weren't done with this reign. I think that Motor City Machine Guns after this makes more sense as a chaser. I thought the match on a whole was solid. The first two falls were kind of quick, especially the first one. It was blink and you missed it.
I missed the first one.
Well, to my point.
Yes.
But I thought it was smart the way they did it because Motor City Machine Guns did not see the tag. And so poor Gargano ate a super kick to the face, but he did not notice right afterwards that Ciampa was already in the ring and he was the legal man. And he picked up the first fall. And of course, Motor City Machine Guns picked up the second fall to tie it. And so at that point, I was like, okay, anybody's fight. And that's when the match really improved, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Going into the third fall, I thought that the match really picked up. And that's why I was a bit disappointed with the finish we got, because I was like, the match had just started getting good. And boy, if WWE has not shown us anything for the past 3 years, they like a masked, hooded figure finish, buddy. They just cannot help themselves. They have to send somebody out there in a mask with some shenanigans. They cannot help themselves. And so when I saw somebody on the ring, I was like, oh, we're doing the mystery man shenanigans thing. And like you said, we got the return of the Street Profits. Dawkins came out with the crutch. Ha ha, you dirt sheep scumbags. I am not really injured. Ha ha ha, in your faces.
Jeez. Craziness. I honestly was not expecting the Street Profits to come out and ruin the whole night. Like, come on, guys. And then to still beat up DIY, I'm like, that's crazy. But then, of course, commentary was like, well, they injured Street Profits, kind of took them out, so it's only right. And I'm like, I guess if you're trying to justify it, commentary. But
yeah. I mean, and like I said on Blue Sky when it happened, the fact that it got very quiet after that, it wasn't even like the fans booed. It felt like they didn't know what to do because the Street Profits helped DIY retain. And then right after that, they proceeded to attack DIY anyway and stand over them with the belts. So the crowd initially didn't know if they were supposed to boo or cheer this. And then Cole got on commentary and had to explain the finish. I was like, that's never really a good sign when you have to explain the finish. That kind of tells you it was a little bit too convoluted. But I thought the match on a whole was solid. I wasn't a big fan of the finish, but overall I enjoyed it.
Yeah, overall I thought it was great. And I honestly don't think this is the last time that we'll see these two teams in a match together. I wouldn't even hate to see them in a triple threat tag team match. Like that would also be, I think, pay-per-view worthy to see these three teams for the championships really go at it. So I think it'd be cool. But yeah, commentary having to explain the situation, because I was also confused. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. We're just going to beat them up. Why then not have them lose? Like, doesn't really make sense here, but it happened.
I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to say that the tag division is wide open and everybody's gunning from DIY now, because on SmackDown, they just burned bridges with Pretty Deadly. So Pretty Deadly's gunning from you. You have Los Garza as well gunning for them. So they're just trying to slowly build the pieces together to build up a tag division where everybody's gunning for the champion. And man, after what we got last year, because I felt like they did not book the tag division well, I'm happy to see that. And I hope that this means that these teams do get like a triple threat match on the next pay-per-view. If this means this gets us Street Profits again on pay-per-view, I'm all for it. But I wish the execution was better, but, can't have everything we want.
I was just going to say, we can't win them all. So...
right after that, we got the undisputed WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes defended his belts against Kevin Owens in a ladder match. Kevin came into this thing being an absolute menace, coming out with another great T-shirt tonight. Very, very funny stuff. I loved it. I've loved him throughout this feud. Since he's turned heel, he's been phenomenal. His promos, everything he's been doing. Honestly, thought he did a lot of the heavy lifting in this build to make this rivalry interesting.
Yeah, no, Kevin Owens is he's such a bad guy. Such an easy heel. You can easily get behind like, oh my God, Kevin, please get over it. Like, but no, he's so good, and it's so easy to get upset with him because you're like, why are you doing this, sir? Why? You don't have to go and fight everybody and be so angry all the time. But seeing what he did tonight, I was like, all right, KO, you got to settle down, sir. You're coming in really hot, and Cody hasn't even got his footing yet, and here you are putting him through ladders. Like, we just started, sir. I honestly thought I was watching Collision. I'm like, is this a John Moxley match? What are we doing? Like,
We did get some blood. We did get some color. So, it tracks. Man, what an entrance for Cody Rhodes. He looked incredible. I thought his gear was great. The bomber jacket he had on
it was
tonight,
so cool.
I loved it. I was like, man, I would like to see him do more of these. I know, like, he's made the long coats a big part of his gear, but I thought the bomber jacket was fire.
And they would sell really, really well on WWE Shop because, the little kids have the jackets, and he's got even like the sweaters, the zip up hoodies and stuff that have that design on it. But this jacket looked incredible. The gear tonight was fantastic. Whoever made that for Cody, 10 out of 10. But I think those would sell like hotcakes on WWE Shop.
Yeah, I know our cosplayer community, they'll start making these things immediately anyway.
What do you mean? They're halfway done with it already, Phil.
I know, already in the works. But yeah, this match started slow because at one point I was like, oh, this thing's got to get going. It's a little bit slow. But once it ramped up and we started getting those crazy ladder spots, I was like, oh my God, like the backdrop that Kevin Owens took on the ladder, I was like, oh my God. Please be okay.
Yeah, the one that was laying right in the middle of the ring. When Cody tossed him onto that one, I was like, oh my God, we might have to end it right here. And it's okay. I don't think we have to do more. I think we can call it at that. And they just kept going. And then next thing you know, KO's busted open. And Cody had a really hard time finding his footing. And commentary mentioned it too. Like, Cody hasn't really, done anything in this match. Well, yeah, he was getting put through all the ladders. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then the one of the things that I did love, the tiny ladder.
Yes.
Honestly, paid actor, the tiny ladder. And then they were talking about Hornswoggle, and they're like, oh, I think Hornswoggle climbed it one time. And then I just had flashbacks. I remember that time. So just really fun stuff that they were able to utilize that and just have some funny moments with that. But these guys really went through it tonight. And that last Kevin and Cody moment where they both went through the ladder and they kind of just stopped the match, I was a little worried. I was like, is this real?
Yeah. I love the story they told here. If you remember their first big match, Kevin Owens had him. He was nursing that knee injury and he just wouldn't take the shot. And if you remember, Cody told him, you're making all these excuses, but if you had just gone in for the kill and went for my injured knee instead of trying to be the nice guy, you would be champion right now. So who are you really mad at? You mad at yourself or me? And so tonight you saw it. Cody did struggle at points, but when he saw Kevin Owens was hurt, he did not let up, and he got more and more violent throughout the match. And that also plays into the stuff we got from the last episode of Raw, where Punk told him, like, the longer you're champion, it's going to bring out the worst in you because you're going to do things that you didn't think you would do to keep that belt. And that's been a thing throughout this reign. And I thought the story throughout this match of progressively Cody just kept ramping up the violence. Like, no, I'm not going to let up. I have to do this to put you away. that last spot where he puts him through the last ladder looked disgusting. I was like, oh my God, is he okay? He's like completely like folded up, crumbled up through this ladder, bleeding profusely. Sami is out there trying to tend to him. And the whole time, Cody is just like holding up both belts like, I'm the champion. I won. You challenged me. I beat you. Get out of here.
Yeah. You know, a moment where I was really wondering what they were going to do next was when Sami came out. You know, both of these guys were laid out. You had Nick Aldis out there, and he was like, Cody, like checking to see if Cody was okay. Cody was not moving. Kevin Owens was not moving. And you got Sami Zayn there in the civilian starter pack as well, in his little hoodie. And he was just kind of looking around, wondering what he was going to do. And I was like, are you going to interfere? Are you not? What are we doing here? Because Kevin Owens had said something to him or whispered something when, he was right up in his face. And Cody was kind of taking a long time to get on that ladder. And even when he got there, he was kind of adjusting the belts. And I was like, Cody, what are we doing? Grab the titles, sir. This is, Sami Zayn could get up there in a quick 3 seconds. But no, I'm glad Sami did not interfere. But this is going to, move into a different storyline now with the three of them. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little scared.
Yeah, I thought the Sami stuff was interesting. I wasn't expecting Sami to come out. Sami showing concern for his best friend, of course. That was perfectly in character. But they've been teasing this stuff for weeks. Is Sami doing this stuff in unintentionally? Is he going to turn? And at one point, I was thinking, is he going to help Kevin Owens win this match? And he didn't. But you could see when he was looking around, like, Cody, you took this too far. You're not even going to see if he's okay. I thought he was your friend.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into the stuff with Kevin Owens because the entire time he's been saying, that guy's not my friend. He's not really anybody's friend. He just uses people. And the great thing about it is throughout this reign, everybody's been like, oh, well, Kevin, the thing that's great about Cody is he's genuine. He's exactly what he says he is. And Kevin Owens has been the first person to really, knock that veneer off of him and make people question him like, well, wait a minute. Are you as genuine as you say you are? Because if you are, why'd you do that? Or why'd you do this? Like, why'd you have to cheat basically to beat him at Saturday Night Main Event? If you are everything you say you are, if he's your friend, why'd you do that? And you see it in this match where Sami was second guessing this, like he took this too far. Like, was Kevin right about this guy?
Yeah, and that hesitation, he was just kind of looking at Cody in disbelief. He went immediately over to Kevin Owens to try to help him, but he was just looking at Cody. He didn't go to necessarily check up on him. And I'm like, all right, something's got to happen here. Mind you, it didn't, but that's definitely going to play into the storyline moving forward. So I don't know. We might get somebody ambushed backstage sooner rather than later.
Yeah, but then brilliantly played into the stuff with Raw because, again, that's what Punk told him. Like, in order to be champion, you got to do things that other people are not willing to do. You cannot keep trying to act like everybody's your friend. You can't keep doing what you would do before you won this championship. And a big part of this reign has been not just him trying to cement his legacy, but learning what it takes to be a world champion on this level. And I think Sami didn't get in that moment like he took it that far because he, of course, hasn't been world champion. So he doesn't get it. And if you look at it, the way when he was world champion in NXT, the way he lost it to Kevin knows what it takes. There are no friends in this.
That's crazy. Just relating it back to his reign in NXT. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. But man, Sammy's gotta get a win sometime. He's gotta get a reign eventually.
Man, right? When I was watching this, I was like, man, I kind of want Sami to win the Rumble now. Could you imagine if all of that happened and Sami won the Rumble and he's coming gunning for Cody Rhodes after that? That would have been really good. Maybe he'll win the Elimination Chamber match. I don't know, but I think you've got to try and factor.
Whoa. I don't know about the elimination. We got to give that to Cena now, remember.
But I'm just saying, it is in Toronto. It is in Canada.
We've seen Sami lose in Canada.
This is true, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be mad at Sami finally getting his big match at WrestleMania. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense to go back to the Cody match, but we'll see.
Yeah, there's a lot of options here. Who knows? And we've been swerved more than once or twice tonight. So
Yeah.
yeah, they could do it again. So we got a lot of
Or
time from now to Mania.
yeah. Or maybe this is leading to Sami versus Cody at Elimination Chamber proper for the belt, and he's not going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. That could be the case as well.
That would make sense. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
So we'll see. I think they did a lot of interesting things with Kevin Owens and Sami here. I still think that Kevin Sami might be the WrestleMania match, but we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, that's 2 nights. We got 2 nights of Mania. You can really put whatever you want in there.
Yeah. Of course, as you guys know, send in your super chats. That's the best way to get your chat read on the show. I did not see any super chats in relationship to this match.
I don't think I did either. Correct.
Or the tag match. I'm just trying to make sure. I think most of the
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think most of the super chats we have left were all about the men's rumble.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I'm looking at them.
I'm just going to double check, but yeah, those are all the super chats we have left. We're going to get into this star-studded men's Royal Rumble match. There's a lot to talk about with this match.
There is.
Shocking outcome. Still very much thrown off by this outcome. I do not know what to make of it. But before we do that, going to get a word from our sponsors, Helix.
I can't begin to tell you guys the value of a good night's sleep. It changed my life when I changed my sleeping habits. And helixsleep.com/Fightful was a part of that before we even did business with them. I wanted to find a new mattress, and I wanted to make sure I had the one that was right for me. I went to helixsleep.com, I took their sleep quiz, got matched up to one of their models, and it's taken me from just a back sleeper to also a side sleeper, which gets me a better night's sleep in general. They have a 100-night risk-free trial. If you want to send it back, they'll come get it. They've got flexible financing plans. They've always got great deals over at helixsleep.com/Fightful. Ideally, you're spending at least 1/3 of your life in your bed. Make sure that you invest in your sleep. It's something that you're using a great portion of your life. You want to check them out. They've got a 10 to 15 year warranty, free US shipping with quick, no contact delivery. Setup is so easy, and they got 30,000 plus 5-star reviews at helixsleep.com/Fightful.
This men's Royal Rumble match. I was curious to see how we were going to get this because last year it was kind of the same build where they built up a lot of people that could credibly win this. And coming into this, I thought that they did a phenomenal job of making you think that, hey, it could be Punk, maybe it could be Cena, maybe it could be Jey Uso, maybe it could be this guy. And then you add Roman to the field. Roman hasn't been a part of this field in 5 years. We don't know what that means. There's so many variables going into this. And I thought that this match over-delivered. I wasn't the biggest fan of last year's match. I thought last year's match was a little bit disappointing. I thought this match was much better. I think this was a great Rumble match. Starting it off with all of the flippy guys, starting it in with, coming out the gate with Jey and Penta right out the gate, and then bringing in more and more luchadors. I think that gave the first half of this match such a great pace. And then the more and more people you got in there, the eliminations were coming quick and fast. It felt like very chaotic, especially when Jacob got in there. What did you think overall?
Man, I was so excited. All of the Mexicans in the ring, I was like, yes, I love it. I'm here, representation, love to see it. But man, Ray in the ring, I'm like, okay, great. We're starting off with Ray. He's fantastic. Like, let's do it. Having the second person be Penta, I almost lost my mind.
So cool, man. What a great moment for Penta.
Yes. Like, you get to really see, like, this is the match that people were like, oh my God, Penta, Ray. Like, when you've had these recent conversations that people have been having, it's between like, oh my God, when Ray retires, is it going to be Penta that takes over? These two were supposed to be tag teams or not a tag team, but now they're in the ring together. So I was just very, very excited. They showed so much respect for each other. And just seeing them in the ring together was just really, really cool. And of course, adding all of the luchadores afterwards to Santos Escobar, you got to see Andrade, man, just, Dominic also in that match. You got some really, really cool stuff. And I was not disappointed by this men's rumble. I think the past couple years, the women have outshined them in the rumbles, but I think that this one was a little bit different. Like you said, the buildup was insane. When John Cena was like, you know what? Maybe I can win the Royal Rumble. I was like, oh my God, Cena, you need to win the Rumble. And then Punk's like, you know what? I'm also in the Rumble. I was like, oh, here we go. Here comes Punk trying to steal something else. And then Rollins is like, I'm also throwing my name in there. Same thing with Roman. I'm like, who's winning? Who is winning? These are all fantastic names. And literally, it could have gone to anyone. Anybody that was in that ring tonight could have had a valid reason for me to be like, you know what? Yeah, you should win the Royal Rumble. I guess some more than others because I don't know about Logan Paul, but that's we'll get to that later. Just a fantastic, fantastic match. I'm probably gonna have to watch this back tomorrow because I think there's some spots that I definitely missed. There was a little mishap between Ray and Penta, which I was like, I don't see it. I don't.
I didn't see it. The camera didn't draw attention to it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was like, you know what? I closed my eyes. I didn't see it. And if anything, it was only 1 foot. You need to have both feet touch the ground. So I know the rules, okay? I know the rules of the Rumble.
But yeah, starting off the bat, we got Rey Mysterio, Penta, Chad Gable, Carmelo Hayes, and then Santos Escobar. Starting with all of the flippy guys. That was great stuff. And then having somebody in Chad Gable that can ground the match as well. I thought that made the first few minutes of the match a lot of fun. Then we got Otis. Otis got a great reaction. But man, the energy shifted when Bron Breakker hit that ring, man. It was kind of the same way last year when he entered. And he just dominated. He had the most eliminations last year. But watching this match and watching the way that he was putting people down with that spear, I was just thinking, hey, we can retire other people using this move and just let him use it because, man, y'all are not throwing this spear like this guy.
He was really breaking people in half with these spears. And everybody was so excited to see him in the ring. I was like, okay, I don't think I give this man credit, enough credit. I do like Bron Breakker, but fans really, really love Bron Breakker. And the work that he was putting in tonight, I was like, man, this is really tough. And to see him in the ring with like just some of these talented guys, I was like, man, you're really showing that you can really ride with these guys.
Yeah. They did update. I was waiting to see if they would give Roxanne's time. She was in the ring for 1 hour and 7 minutes, 47 seconds. I'm pretty sure that makes her the Iron Woman of this match. That's incredible. Yeah,
man, great accolade to add to her list of accomplishments.
Yeah. Penta, by the way, they have his time here. He was in there for 42 minutes, which that's pretty damn great for his first Rumble.
Yeah. Then, he's been having a really, really great run. So the fact that they put him in 2 and had him go all the way, I was like, this is a star. They're building a star. And I do see a world where he does have a WrestleMania match this year. I don't know against who, but he was, bullying Dominic earlier today. So I was like, Interessante. I would not hate to see that match. I think that'd be really, really cool.
Yeah, they did tease a match with Bron Breakker at one point. I wouldn't be surprised at him challenging for the Intercontinental title. But he was great here, and this is more of what they've been doing for the past 3 or 4 years, signing an AEW talent, and right out the gate, using them heavily, putting them on all of the promotion, going, hey, man,
you had a
warm over here.
Start. Yep.
Look what we did for this guy. Look what we did for Cody. 2 Royal Rumble wins in a row. This could be you.
That's crazy. Not the incentives.
You can see it. Like it just feels like they just keep doing that. Like
that's crazy.
Look, man, Penta was in this Rumble. He's only been here a few weeks.
Yeah, he literally just got here. He's had like 3 matches, and Penta's in the Royal Rumble. And he's got this crazy number. And he started off number 2 against Rey Mysterio. Like, that's not nothing.
That's a pretty big deal. I mean, to come out the gate and use him in this way as a singles wrestler, I think that's great for him. But Again, we've seen this pattern for the last 3 years. There's no way this is not intentional. It's no way it's not intentional.
There's no way this is not a diss track right now.
Yeah. But yeah, Braun Breaker was phenomenal in this. I believe he had 4 eliminations altogether, tying him with who I thought was the MVP of this match, Jacob Fatu. My God, he was incredible, man. Somehow every stare down this guy get is epic. I mean, everybody they had him cross the ring with, I was like, that's a match. Oh, that's a match. When he had to stare down with AJ, I was like, yes, give it to us.
Yeah. Which we got AJ back. Incredible. And then he comes out and I'm like, oh my God, is AJ winning the Rumble? Like, there's just so many possibilities at that point.
I wouldn't be mad at it. When he came back initially, he was very much yoked up. It seems like he slimmed down a little bit since he's come back from an injury. This looks like his normal weight. He looked great. But yeah, I was very excited to see him. Very much excited to see his original theme song as well. I popped huge for that. Loved hearing that. But yeah, Braun Breaker at 7 came in spearing people out of their boots. I did not like how Carmelo got eliminated, but I was not a fan.
Am I dreaming, or did Braun Breaker spear Roman?
Yes.
He did, right?
It was a nasty spear.
I thought that was fantastic. Like, oh my God. Roman has a great spear. But when he got speared by Braun Breaker, I was like, oh my God. I was a little scared.
I'm telling you. You all can learn a new move now because he's better at it than everybody.
Because he took it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he delivered a few spears in this, including unexpected ISO speed. Like I was alluding to, wasn't a big fan of how Carmelo got eliminated from this match. I did not think it made him look great, but he immediately rolled out of the ring. He was a victim of Braun Breaker, rolled out of the ring. As he's walking up the ramp, he knocked poor Tozawa out. Come on, man. Don't do Tozawa like this. We like Tozawa. Stop doing our guy like this. But Tozawa got taken out, and they carted him back in the back. Camera followed them in the back, and we got Triple H. As you said, it looked like Triple H was about to start rolling up his sleeves and take his jacket off.
I was like, you can do it in a suit. I believe in you, sir.
But he turned around and said, Speed, get in the Rumble. And at first I was like, wait, Speed? And then Speed goes out there. I thought the way that they filmed him going in with his cameraman from his channel,
that was cool.
I thought that was cool. I wasn't excited to see him getting this spot, honestly, but the way they used him was very smart because I think they know right away that people are going to see him as an outsider. A lot of wrestling fans are not going to want to see him. So to see him get in and immediately get speared to hell was very, very funny. And boy, the way that his neck snapped when he hit the mat and everything, I was like, oh my God, he's dead.
That was crazy. And you know what? WWE knows what they're doing. This is all fantastic marketing on their part. Tomorrow, everyone's going to talk about how IShowSpeed was in the Rumble. Everyone is going to be covering it, and it's going to be a big thing for streamers in general. I actually was kind of hoping it was going to be Kai Cenat. I love Kai. Mm-hmm. I thought that would have been also a good place to put him because they were advertising like, oh, Kai Cenat's going to be at the Rumble. But I think they were also advertising IShowSpeed, I believe. So, yeah. I mean, I guess it just could have gone either way. But Tozawa, on Tozawa's dime, really?
They didn't have to do Tozawa like that. They did our guy dirty, man. But, yeah, I thought they made the most out of this IShowSpeed spot. If he had gone in there and did anything other than just get completely wrecked with the spear, he did he did score one elimination before he got speared. He did help to get Otis out. So he got a little excited there. Got a little bit too excited because he turned right around and ate one of the nastiest spears of the night and then got carted out of the ring.
And I know he's going to feel that tomorrow. Absolutely.
That was funny. But I think that led to some of the chaos of this match and just how quick the eliminations were coming. At one point, Ludwig Kaiser slid in the ring. He was trying to be sneaky. He thought he was going to get one over on somebody. He was trying to sneak around, and Penta just tossed him right out of the ring.
Lewis is writing that also Speed was cut from his ankle thanks to Braun's spear. That's going to be on Instagram. We gotta watch that later.
Yeah, but man, to your point, this is very smart. They're going to get a ton of engagements off of that from his channel, just a clip on social media. That's going to do a lot of promotion for them.
Numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what other clip is going to do numbers? Joe Hendry.
Dude, this guy got one of the loudest pops of the night. I thought at one point when he came in, I was like, this is insane. Like the way the entire building knew the words to his song, and he got in that ring, and I was like, I don't know how much you get louder than this. And Roman came out after that, and I don't know if it was just me, but Joe Hendry's pop was louder than Roman's. It was crazy. It was louder. It was more sustained.
It was pretty lengthy. And even when Joe Hendry got into the ring, people were still very, very hyped. When he did the little turn, you saw Sheamus being like, oh wow, I like this. Like, what's going on here? Which makes me believe that hopefully they'll have a little interaction. But yeah, Joe Hendry, phenomenal. Which they kept calling him Henry on commentary, which I'm like, that's not his name. It's
Joe Hendry.
Hendry. Like,
yeah, Joe Hendry. But yeah, even when Roman eliminated him, the crowd booed. The crowd booed Roman for kicking him out. I couldn't believe it.
We love Joe Hendry here. This is a Joe Hendry household. So as evenly as it is a Roman Reigns household, I was like, come on. There's other people in the ring, sir. You could have found your attention to anybody else. But Joe Hendry is a big, big name. So I wouldn't be surprised if when his contract is up in TNA, if WWE absolutely picks him up, because he is so charismatic and the fans already love him, know who he is, and cheer for him. Like, this is undeniable. He had one of the biggest videos that did numbers when he first appeared on NXT, I believe. And I'm sure this appearance in the Rumble is also going to do numbers, because everybody was hoping that Joe Hendry would be in the Rumble, especially with the new TNA WWE merger that they got going on. So I honestly expected more people. I thought Jeff Hardy was going to come out at one point.
Yeah, I thought we would see more wrestlers from TNA. I thought we would see Masha in the Women's Rumble. Yes. I was kind of surprised that didn't happen. I guess I was kind of surprised we didn't see like Wes Lee or from NXT or Trey Miguel from TNA. But, you know, I think the field that we got was perfectly fine. But yeah, that crowd was not happy when Joe Hendry got kicked out by Roman. And, you know, Roman is Roman. He still got a great reaction, but it wasn't that Joe Hendry pop. That Joe Hendry pop was different. But yeah, speaking of Roman making his first Royal Rumble appearance in 5 years. He looked like as big of the star as you expect. He, of course, had the most eliminations tonight with 5.
Yeah.
And, man, he's still Roman. The thing that I loved about it, the story going into this, is he hasn't been in a Rumble all this time because he's been champion. He's been on top, dominant, reign of terror for 4 years. And so coming into this match, nobody wants to see this guy win. Nobody wants to go back to that time period of him being on top and holding the belt and being almost a part-timer. So I love that everybody was gunning for him. There were people that were sliding in the ring and running straight past everybody else and going straight to him because they were like, this guy's the biggest threat in this match. We got to get him out. I love that.
Yeah, no, that was really, really cool to see, because that really just put up the threat level that Roman was, that he is the tribal chief, right? And they kept mentioning it on commentary. He hasn't been in this Rumble for years because he has been a champion. He has been dominant. And that just made you think like, man, Roman is such a strong competitor. To have him in a match like this with already other strong competitors, like him and Seth Rollins in there alone, I was like, oh my God, my heart, what's going on? Like my Shield members, and they really played it up in this match tonight, which I absolutely love. They're like, Roman has just not been able to get over, and you know, Seth betrayed him, and the Shield was started here, and the Shield also broke up here, and I'm like, oh my God, just stop it, I get it.
Yeah, but I mean, just the way that they played this, very smart. Drew was the next entrant right after Roman. We know that Drew has not gotten over losing at Clash of the Castle to him. So immediately having him come in right after Roman, and he came gunning for Roman. At one point, he had him on the ground and he was talking trash to him. I was like, get him. Get him, Drew. Finn Balor came in right afterwards. Is this new music for Finn? I didn't recognize the music when he came out.
Honestly, I don't know what's going on with the Judgment Day and their theme songs. I feel like sometimes I didn't know who was coming out. I'm like, okay, I had to wait for the little name, and then I'm like, okay. It's just the
Yeah.
music nowadays to me is a little generic.
It
So
is.
we need to go back to the times where you're like, oh my God, yes, I know that theme, and I'm ready for it. And that didn't happen for me tonight, but I don't know.
I will just say with the fact that for a long time, West Side Gun has said Finn Balor is his favorite wrestler, and they have a relationship. There's no way the Hurt Syndicate should have gotten a West Side Gun theme song before Finn Balor did. WWE dropped the ball on that one. I'm just gonna say it. Finn Balor should have had a West Side Gun theme song. He has a song named after Finn Balor. When they were doing that tribute to Chris Bay on TNA, the song that they were playing is Finn Balor. And so I'm like, how did this guy not have a West Side Gun theme song?
Sometimes they just let things slip through the crack and they never get back to it. But Bayley said it in her signing that she had in, I think it was at the Superstore or whatever, that she said she didn't like Def Rebel or something like that. Somebody confirm or deny in the comments.
Yeah, as we said, big pop for AJ Styles. I was hoping we would see AJ tonight. I was not sure if we would, because we hadn't heard any status. He had a very serious injury last year, so I was very excited to see AJ. Not the AJ that some people were expecting, but
that's very true. We were hoping for another AJ, but honestly, when AJ Styles came in, I was like, here we go. Another person who's going to beat up John Cena, because John Cena has history with a lot of people. And I was like, oh, if they're going to go after him, which they didn't really. So I'm like, okay, AJ, shout outs to you, sir.
yeah, loved seeing them get to play off their rivalry here, because of course they had that phenomenal Royal Rumble match a few years ago. I believe that was 2017. Really, really good match. But man, the match was paced so well, but that point when CM Punk came in right after Cena, and it looked like there was a stare down, and Roman was getting up out of the corner, it was the three of them in the ring, and then immediately Seth Rollins came in after that. The rotation there was so good. That sequence of guys coming in,
they didn't give us time to process anything. We were like, oh my God, it's just one great guy after another, right? Like, when are we going to start fighting? Nobody was even fighting yet. They were just kind of processing, like, oh man, this person just got here. I'm recovering. Let me look to my left, look to my right. And then the next person would come in and it'd be a Seth Rollins. It'd be just crazy, crazy good name. So yeah, it was just such a good Rumble.
Yeah, great Rumble. But that little bit of a sequence where they didn't know they were helping each other, and Roman was behind Rollins' back hitting his moves, and then Rollins would finish it, and then he turned around and realized it was Roman, and you could just feel the tension between them, like you could cut it with a knife. Great stuff. That sequence where they were trying to hit each other with the moves and the counters, so good. And then of course that led to them getting caught up in the rope. It looked like Rollins was going to try and fight his way back in the ring and get Roman out, which has kind of played into Rollins' story for the last few years. If I've had this guy's number, he has not been able to beat me. Of course, Royal Rumble a few years ago, he had to use the chair to get disqualified to beat Rollins. So he kind of felt like nobody's going to save you this time. You don't have the bloodline anymore. You're on your own. I'm going to eliminate you, and I'm going to go to WrestleMania. And CM Punk eliminated them both. What a great follow-up to the War Game stuff of Rollins saying, I'm not going to help this guy beat the other bloodline and get his power back. I'm not going to stand next to CM Punk or any of these guys and act like I get along with these guys. I hate all of these guys. They're hypocrites. So for him to be the guy that played spoiler and kick those guys out, that was great.
Yeah. Let's talk about the final four, final three, which can I tell you, I hoped that John Cena would win, right? I was like, in my heart, I want John Cena to win. I don't think he's going to win. I think they're going to give it to CM Punk. When CM Punk got eliminated, my heart stopped for like 2 seconds. I'm like, I think I'm having a stroke, but I was fine. um, but I was fine. And then I'm like, oh my God, they're doing it. They're going to give it to John Cena.
That's exactly what I thought.
There's no freaking way. I was like, they're really going to do this? I was like, I'm not mad at it. Absolutely. But then the more it went on, I'm like, oh my God, are they going to give it to Jey? There's no way. But then I'm like, there is a slight chance like they could. And I was completely sidetracked. I had no idea that this is the way that the Rumble was going to end. And like Sean said, a lot of people apparently didn't either. They did not place their bets for Jey winning the Rumble tonight. And that's definitely not where I had my money. So craziness to say that John Cena did not win the Royal Rumble in 2025 on his retirement tour. I was not mad at Jey winning. I think fantastic for him. He is a great wrestler. The year that he's had has just been fantastic. He deserves a Rumble win. He deserves a WrestleMania main event, but he's already main evented WrestleMania. So, I mean, there's a lot, you know. But man, I was totally sidetracked on this. I didn't think this was going to happen. What were you feeling when CM Punk got eliminated?
Okay. I have to put a tack in that for now because I was distracted by someone saying something in the chat, and I have to look this up to make sure that it was true.
What they say?
Apparently, because people know I'm a basketball fan, Sham just reported that the Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic to the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis.
People are talking about it. If someone says, yeah, Shams tweeted it.
As of 4 minutes ago, that was reported to be the trade. Dallas Mavericks are trading Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris to Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and the 2029 first-round draft pick. That is a crazy trade. Wow. I'm, of course, going to look more into that after we got it. That completely took my attention away. But, yeah, so we were going in such a great direction with the Rumble because, like I said, at one point, Roman and Rollins were helping each other, but they couldn't see it because they had their backs to each other. And they had this great dynamic of these two guys that were the top of their generation facing off the two guys from the generation before them and Punk and Cena. And so it almost felt like, hey, if these guys would just work together, they could move past these guys. You've outlasted them. They're the old guys. And the story is they couldn't get out of their own way in that moment. They're still too angry at each other to move past their rivalry. And that's what got them tangled up in the ropes, and Punk threw them out. I hated Logan Paul throwing Punk out. And I know we're supposed to hate it. I know he's a heel. We're supposed to boo it. I hated it. I literally yelled boo at my TV when it happened. I was so mad.
Not the booing at the TV.
Oh, I was so mad. I hated it. Because I thought at that point, once Rollins and Roman was out, I was like, oh, this is Punk's match to win. And of course, that's the way we're supposed to feel with the camera angle. And then Logan Paul just throws him out.
Yeah. I wasn't mad at that. I was like, oh, Logan, you kind of did something good for me tonight. So, I mean, still hate you, but it's just, I'm just not a CM Punk fan. It's not for me. Which I know you feel the complete opposite. But it's okay. That's the beautiful thing about wrestling. We can all have different opinions. And I think we can agree that Jey, he did that.
Yeah, we were of the same mind when it got to the Final Four, and it was Cena in there with Logan Paul, and I believe Braun Strowman. No, who's the other Final Four? Why am I guessing when I have my phone in front of me?
No, it was Jey, Cena, CM Punk, and Logan.
Well, CM Punk was eliminated. There were 3 people left. So John Cena. Oh, you're right. It was CM Punk. Yeah. So CM Punk was in the Final Four before Logan kicked him out. And then it was Logan, Cena, Jey Uso. So when it got to those 3, I was like, oh, Cena's winning. And, we got Logan Paul out. He got eliminated. And when it got down to Jey, they got that stare down. And when he hit the 5 moves of doom, I was like, oh, it's over. It's over. He hit the shoulder tackles, got into the 5-knuckle shuffle. I thought it's over.
Yeah.
And then when he slid out of the attitude adjustment, I was like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
They booked the final sequence of this very, very well because it kept you guessing throughout it. Once they got out on the apron, the struggle back and forth, it looked like Cena had him. And man, the shock on my face when he got pushed out, I was like,
when John Cena landed on the outside, I had the same face he did. He was like, what just happened? I was just as confused as you, Cena. We're on the same page.
I was stunned by this finish. I'm still kind of stunned. Jey Uso is the 2025 Royal Rumble winner. I did not think that was the case, but to his credit, he said right after Saturday Night Main Event, I can beat him. I know I can. I can beat Gunther, and I will be back. Came out with Quavo on Monday, and he was like, I am going to win the Royal Rumble match. I'm going to earn my chance. And I believe I read in the chat earlier, he already revealed in the press conference he is going to challenge Gunther. That is going to be his opponent at WrestleMania.
That's going to be a good match. It's going to be
that's
good.
pretty big. I can't say that, honestly, I can't say that this is who I would have wanted to win the match, but it's hard to be mad at Jey. I mean, he's one of the most over guys in the company. They've definitely done the work to get him to this spot. You could make an argument out of the Bloodline storyline. At one point, he felt like the main character of this thing. And if you really look at it, who benefited the most out of this from start to finish, who came out of it better, it's Jey Uso by far. Jey Uso has come out as one of the most over baby faces in the company. If this whole thing is him proving he's a main eventer, he's proven it at this point. And I mean, getting that kind of stamp of approval of throwing John Cena of all people out, that's a huge deal. John Cena giving him the endorsement afterwards, raising his hand, that's huge.
Yeah, that's such a just big validation. And you know what? I was just, when John Cena announced his retirement tour, I'm like, this could go one of two ways. Like, he's either going to put over a lot of talent or he's going to take all the wins. And I'm like, both are justified. Like, John Cena has put the company on his back and he's just been a great representative for WWE. And he is a mainstream and a household name. So I wouldn't be mad if they're like, yeah, we're just going to give you everything. We're going to throw you all the wins. Fantastic. But also, I know that John Cena is also a guy that likes to have other talent shine. So I wouldn't be mad if that's what he did this year. But I really do want him to be a 17-time champion.
Yeah. I mean, I think he sometimes unfairly gets these accusations of burying a lot of talent because he did do things like beating the entire Nexus by himself. And some of those things have followed him his entire career. And it's painted this picture of him as a guy that has not also been very giving to guys when they were the next up and comer as well. Because I mean, love him or hate him, Punk doing the pipe bomb and everything, that doesn't hit the same if John doesn't put him over at Money in the Bank. That's still one of the biggest wins of his career. And, John was very giving in all of that. And there's other scenarios where he was as well. And I thought he was great tonight. I thought he did the right thing. He made Jey look great. He gave him the big endorsement at the end. And I think for his farewell tour, this is the stuff he should be doing. He should be making the next up-and-coming guys look good. It shouldn't be him beating these young guys and getting a title match. He's had his time. He's a 16-time world champion. He don't need to beat any of these guys. He doesn't need any more wins.
Yeah, he doesn't need to prove anything, but I would also love to see him as a 17-time champion. And I know they might be saving that for Charlotte, which it is what it is, but I wouldn't be mad at it. It's John Cena's last year. He's done a lot for the company. Why not? Why not? That's what I say. We have a lot of super chats and humper chats. One that I do want to get to, Will Chisholm, thank you. As a Penta fan, I'm shocked that he got over so fast with WWE fans. I am not. Because I think a lot of fans are also, they do watch other products. They kind of knew who Penta was. And, you know, it showed in his debut. People knew what Cero Miedo was. People were doing it. People loved Penta. They were cheering him, period. So I was not surprised to see that happen. And of course, he's such a big star. The matches that he's getting, the time that he's getting to be showcased, 10 out of 10. I'm here for that. What else? Man, there's a lot in here. Piker Hines is saying, love Jey getting this win, makes the main event mean something. The Alabama Slam was sickening from Cody.
Yeah, that
Sickening.
Alabama Slam onto that ladder. Disgusting.
Great. That was, I'm honestly traumatized. Oh my goodness. Trauma. Chris Levy 13 says both Rumbles were great. Just seeing Styles, Cena, Roman, Seth, Jey, Drew, Punk, Logan in the end for men was crazy. Cody versus Kevin, the craziest ladder match in a while. You know, before going into this ladder match, I think the most memorable ladder match I remember Cody being in was in AEW when Sammy Guevara totally, speared him in the sky? Can you say that?
Yeah. Yeah, he hit the cutter off of the top. That was his last match with AEW. 5-star match. If you remember, that was his very last match. Put Sammy over. That was a TNT title match. But yeah, this ladder match was grisly. I loved it. I've loved this feud throughout. I think their first match and this match were both very good.
Yeah. Will Chisholm saying, Phil, your boy tried to stop Roman's head off.
Man, when I tell you, this was a good feeling for me as a Rollins fan tonight, and as somebody that has had the agenda for really about 3 years now, where I've been saying, look, he didn't beat him at Royal Rumble. He had to cheat. He had to go get a chair. Give my guy his rematch. You've been ducking him for 3 years now. Give him his match. At every turn, oh, I hate Seth Rollins. Okay, we'll get in the ring. Won't get in the ring and face this guy. Give him his match. And after this match, I felt like, guys, my agenda is on full display. This is the WrestleMania match, guys. I know people are saying maybe Punk Roman. This is the year, man. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns should be the WrestleMania match.
Man, there's so many options because I also wouldn't be mad to finally see CM Punk and Rollins. But who knows? They could work 2 nights. It's happened before where you got, Roman worked night 1 and night 2. And I think same thing with Cody. Worked night 1, worked night 2. So why not? We have so many options here.
Yeah.
Are you looking at these chats? These are crazy. Will Chisholm is saying, Punk told Cody the world title game is like the dope game. There's no friends.
Oh, I'm sure that is a super chat. I'm trying to find it, but oh, here it is. Will Chisholm, man, that's hilarious. Ain't no friends in this, bro.
No friends. Lucky Charm is saying Liv is my fave for the 2026 Rumble in Saudi. She has such a great history in Saudi with 2 title wins. I cannot think of a better person to win it there. Great. I don't think I've ever seen an event that they've had in Saudi. That's just a personal choice. But I watched the highlights on Twitter.
Yeah, I could see it. Of course, she won the big belt this year.
Yeah.
So maybe she will go back and, she was the first winner of that belt in the ring. I'm forgetting what that championship was called, the Crown Jewel Championship, or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know what, Adam Legend, shout outs to you. You're saying, I'm giving up on the New Day. They had the biggest moment of December, then nothing has happened, and they missed the Royal Rumble past the pen pal. Interessante that we didn't get to see a Kofi or an Xavier. I know people wanted to see an appearance from Big E, which I think was very less likely to happen. But yeah, we didn't get a Kofi spot. We didn't get Xavier out there. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't think that they've capitalized well off of the anniversary segment because they got such good heat off of that. And even the week after that where they got booed out of the building, I think that they should have been doing more with the New Day by now. And I was surprised that they had no appearance tonight, even like in the Rumble, anywhere around this pay-per-view. And I think that that's kind of a disservice to those guys. I've been saying for the longest that I don't think that all of this has been a tease to get Big E in the ring. I think he's honest when he's saying that he's done, and that could change. But I don't think that this was to tease to get to Big E's return. I think that this was legitimate. Let's write him out of the New Day for now because he's not coming back.
Yeah.
Which is sad, but
That's so sad,
I do think that that's what this is.
Man, I miss that Naomi used to be doing her spots. We didn't get a fun spot from her this year. They kind of gave it to Logan, which I was like, ew.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sir, that's Kofi's spot. How dare you?
Yeah.
I was not a fan of it. Walter L. Walters saying Uso dub was cool, but would be worthless if you don't win the belt. Props to Triple H for having everyone believe Cena would win it. Fatu was sick. Jordan might be my fave new women's wrestler. She was dope. Jordan was cool. She looked fantastic coming out tonight. And she really just did look like a star. So I wonder where they're going to place her, rather that be on Raw or SmackDown. I don't think they're going to have her in NXT. I think NXT is good with the women that they have right now. But is she going immediately after a title? Like, what do you see her doing? Or do you think she's kind of like just finding her footing right now?
I think that Jade is a good first feud for her because they had the interaction here. I think based on that, there's a good chance that that could be her first big NXT feud if she's going to NXT, of course.
Interessante. Ten Ruza is saying Cena versus Rhodes on Sunday is the real main event, not Saturday.
Yeah. Here we go. There's 10 Ruzas. Yeah, and I agree with Walter, by the way. I do think that you have to shit or get off the pot right now with Jey. If you're going to give him that big of a moment on this stage, Royal Rumble, you can't keep teasing it. You got to give him the win now. Like, there's no other way. You can't get to WrestleMania and then have him lose to Gunther. I think that would be incredibly anticlimactic.
Oh, absolutely. He has to win at WrestleMania at this point.
Yeah.
No shade to Gunther. I think he's been a fantastic, fantastic champion. And he might just have a little slip up that night, I think Jey is due for a big title win like this. And at a night like WrestleMania, I think after the year that he's had, more than deserved. Ten Ruza saying both Rumbles were just there, nothing crazy. Yeah, I'm sorry. The biggest Rumbles to me don't count. That's just a personal thing. But.
Yeah, I think this has been the best. This is the best men's Rumble that I can think of the past 3 or 4 years. I was at the Rumble in St. Louis. That was not a good Rumble. That was a bad Rumble.
I was at that Rumble as well. Mind you, it was at like a monster truck arena, and they had just had a monster truck show the night before and didn't clean the seats. So when I got to my seats, they were covered in dirt. Mind you, I had like little hand wipey, so I had to wipe down my own seat before I sat down. But I'm like, nobody came by with like a little Swiffer and just kind of like dusted anything off.
Yeah, that was also the night I was sitting next to Will Washington and Sean Ross Sapp. We were sitting right under the sign, and the sign kept catching on fire, and I was like, I don't want to die at my first Royal Rumble.
Is that the one where Ronda Rousey pointed to it and then it caught on fire?
And it started smoking?
Yep.
Yeah, I was sitting around like, I was excited. This was my first ever Royal Rumble. It ended up being a bad men's Rumble, 2 bad Rumble matches, and then the sign kept catching on fire. I was like, that would be just like the perfect luck for me. The sign like explodes and then falls on us.
What a way to go that would be on the first Rumble. Oh my God. Ten Ruza again, 2 years until the next proper Rumble. Interessante.
Yeah, he's very much saying he is not supporting the Saudi Rumble. We got some Riyadh season commercials tonight that were wasn't a fan. Very, it's a choice. At this point, they're going to keep doing business with Saudi. They've been in this deal long enough. This is a 10-year deal. This is not going anywhere at this point.
This is this is too much.
Yeah,
We got a Humper chat from Blink FNX brand, Phoenix brand. Correct me.
Black Phoenix brand.
Black Phoenix brand. I believe I keep thinking that Charlotte being gone will make me appreciate her more. And every time she shows back up, I'm ready for her to leave again.
I can understand people that felt this way, but I do think she was gone enough time to give me a chance to miss her. I did miss Charlotte while she was away. I didn't
Yeah,
want her to immediately come back and win, but also, what do you expect? Because,
it's
Charlotte Flair.
Flair. It's Charlotte Flair. It's kind of I don't want to make comparisons, but it's kind of like Mercedes Moné in AEW. You know, she's gonna go in there, she's gonna win. It is what it is. They're big
It's like
enough
Cena.
stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're big enough stars now where you're just like, it makes sense. I'm not mad at it. I can be mad at it, but I understand it.
Yeah.
Charlotte is a moneymaker. She brings in the money. She brings the storyline. She brings the glam. There's nothing else I can say about that.
Yeah, when she cut that promo and she was talking about she was not going to run away from being a winner and being confident about who she was, I was like, oh, I know exactly what that means. She's coming right back and being in the title picture. Get ready, guys. And sure enough, here we are.
Broadway Joe, thanks for your interaction. At 3.96 rating on Cage Match, the 2025 Royal Rumble has displaced the 2015 Royal Rumble as the worst event ever. Some things never change. The worst?
I don't know if I would say the worst. There were things I didn't like about it, but I think overall this is the best men's rumble we've seen in the last few years.
I wonder how much veterans coming back or like legends coming back really impacts people's opinion, because I remember the first year it happened where we were like, I guess we were waiting for Stone Cold and Stone Cold didn't come out and everybody was like, oh, well, we wanted, veterans. But then people also get mad when the current superstars are not showcased. So I wonder like what the balance is on that and how that affects the ratings.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I got into stuff I didn't like about this show, but I don't think it was the worst ever. That's a
I
bit
don't think
much.
it was terrible. Dang.
Yeah.
Let's see who else. I think there's 10 rules. You're just really giving those chats out. No real
Appreciate you, buddy.
sir. Good stuff, jabronis. 10 out of 10 for you. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, no real questions. And I did also notice that Nick Khan was in the front row. I was like, oh, did I see something? I thought I did. Yeah, he was in the front row, which could have been sold to a fan, if you ask me. But it is what it is, right? Some people people do business there differently.
Listen, man, we're both Midwesterners. Nobody really wants to go to Indianapolis. Let's just tell the truth. That's why we're at home.
but if somebody was like, hey, we'll sit you in the front row at the Royal Rumble, I would have been like, yeah, I'll drive over there. I'll take the Skyway. Let's go,
I tried to explain this to somebody as a Midwesterner because they were like, why do you hate Indiana so much? And I was like,
there's nothing over there.
There's nothing over there. People just go there to buy cigarettes and fireworks. They've got the Indiana Pacers there as a team I've hated my entire life. The Indianapolis Colts robbed me of my Super Bowl win in 2005 that I wanted for the Bears. There are a lot of reasons to hate Indiana. It's kind of like being in Springfield in The Simpsons and being across from Shelbyville. Like, fuck Shelbyville.
Lewis is saying that based on what he's seen on social media, a lot of the rating is because Jey won over the other options, which is wild. And it is, because I'm not mad that Jey won. I'm also not mad that John Cena did not win. And I'm one of the biggest Cena fans. I absolutely love that man. He's why I watch wrestling today. But I'm not like devastated. Like, guys, it's not. We shouldn't be crying in the club over it,
I'm not a fan of the outcome either, guys. And I'll just say, for me, coming out of WrestleMania, and universally people were saying the worst match of that weekend was Jey versus Jimmy. And to come out of that WrestleMania and go, hey, main eventer next year is Jey Uso, is kind of a wild decision when you just look at that part in a vacuum. But also, when you look at everything they've done to build up Jey out of the Bloodline story, this was the logical next step for him. And if you didn't do this, it's never going to happen. If you're not going to push him in this way now, it's never, ever going to happen.
Yeah. So sometimes it's better to do it now before things go stale. Crazy 101 is saying the man who can't see color did my boy Cena dirty.
Well, I don't. Well, Cena's not black. What do you mean? I'm confused. I'm confused by this. I'm confused by this. What do you mean? He can't see color, but he did John Cena, a white man, wrong? I'm confused by this.
We need
No,
we need further explanation on that one.
we need clarifications on this one, Crazy 101. But yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Cena to win. So I did at one point when it got down to the final three, but going into this, I predicted that Cena was not going to win. So
You know what's crazy?
It matched with my.
I would have been more upset if CM Punk won.
Oh, I would have been happy. Sorry.
I know you would have been happy, but I would have been more upset. I would have been like, here we go again.
I would have.
Oh,
I would
here
have
it
raged,
comes.
but he still got the favor from Paul in his back pocket, and I thought the way that they booked all of the stuff after those three got eliminated, and Rollins was rightfully mad, and he was just attacking everybody. He was just handing out curb stomps back to back to back, and Paul was like, "What are you doing on the ground? You could have killed him." He's just like, "I don't care. Watch this," and stomped him again. I loved it.
I don't care. Watch this. 10 Ruza, thank you so much for your super chats tonight. Jay is a catchphrase and hand signals at this point. Do you agree? How do you feel about that, Phil?
I think he has a chance to prove people wrong. That's the best thing I can say here, because the thing that was great about the Saturday Night Main Event match was that Gunther came straight in the gate and said, "Hey, man, you're a funny guy. You come out here with your catchphrase. You come out here and make the people happy and you make the people dance. But when that bell rings, I am better than you and I'm going to beat you." And that's exactly what happened at Saturday Night Main Event. You've got to get him to the point where you prove to people that he can deliver in the ring, because I don't think that they've done that yet. Now, do I think that he will deliver a great match at WrestleMania? I'm not so sure, but I'm more than willing to be proven wrong. So
Yeah, I'm also very hopeful like you. I do believe that he's able to put on a fantastic WrestleMania match and a main event with Gunther at that. I don't agree that he's just a catchphrase and hand signals at this point. I think he's a good wrestler. I think he really has that social media power where like everyone's talking about Jay. So he is really building himself up. He's selling that merch, absolutely. But you can't compare him to a lot of other wrestlers who are on the roster who aren't to the level that he's gotten to yet. Like, you can't say that there's someone else that could not be in this position. Like, I think Jay has really worked his butt off for this. So I'm not mad at the Rumble. Overall, I think out of 5, probably give it a 4 out of 5. I'm not mad at it. I'll probably rewatch some of the stuff tomorrow too.
yeah, I thought the men's Rumble was very good, but I can understand people feeling like Jay wasn't the most interesting outcome from them. And I agree with that, but also I'm not mad at Jay. Jay has worked very hard for this moment. He's more over than he's ever been. And if the fans are all the time saying online, you got to listen to your fans, you got to listen to your fans, he's getting some of the loudest reactions every night.
Yeah, it's like, did we watch the same thing? Because did you guys see that arena tonight when he came out, when he won? You had 60,000 people with their hands in the air, cheering, yeeting for their lives. So the fans there were happy to participate in his win and his entrance. So
I agree with Tony P, by the way. I've always thought that Jimmy was the better Uso. Seriously, I think he's the better talker. I think he's the better talker. I think he's the better wrestler. Listen, I'm a big Jim fan over here. Sorry.
you know when I did really love Jimmy was when we would watch Total Divas. I think when Total Divas was out there, he was coming out. When he was throwing out Naomi's junk food, I was cracking up. That was what I was loving. 10 out of 10. Bring back Total Divas. That's my pitch of the night.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all the super chats we have, right? Louis, correct us if we're wrong. Guys, if you have anything else that you want us to talk about before we head out, send us a super chat, send us a humper chat, and we will read it as we give our final comments of the show. But I guess John Cena's just winning at the Elimination Chamber. That's what I'm going to tell myself. I'm telling you, the jersey, I'm looking at it. It's hanging up right here, half bedazzled. So I will be at WrestleMania to watch John Cena's last WrestleMania match.
Yeah, we got a humper chat from Meet Normus. He says, for Phil, even Tyrese Halliburton from the Rumble just tweeted, was Sham hacked? Laughing my fucking ass off. Yeah, that is a wild trade. I cannot believe that trade is real. I had to double take it that chat, and I'm like feverishly like typing, like, is this real? That is a crazy trade. I can't believe that. Luca in LA, Anthony Davis getting thrown off the boat and chucked to the wolves out there in Dallas. Wow. I cannot believe it.
Quickly, Jay Stone is saying, I don't think we read the super chat, but we did. We just read it early on. Weird that there was no appearances from the men's NXT side. Think it was a missed opportunity to have Oba or Trick in that spot Speed was in. Yeah, we talked about how, yeah, it was just crazy to think that really nobody from the men's side on NXT was there when the women had a lot of choices there. You know, we got to see Stephanie Vaquer. I was hoping to see Sol Ruka, but we got Lash Legend. Fantastic to see her. And we got Roxanne. So, I mean, I don't know. I guess the men's NXT side was just kind of slept on a little bit. I know I mentioned William Regal's son. I love William Regal. Maybe that's why I was just like, throw his son in there. But yeah, interesting. I think we could have gotten some, at least Trick Williams, right?
Yeah, I thought for sure we were getting a whoop that trick chant tonight. I was surprised we didn't get that.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, thank you, Jay Stone. Just wanted to throw your chat up there a second time in case you didn't see it.
Yes. Dante V, is there a scenario where Jay goes after a heel Cody?
Well, I mean, he's already revealed he's going to challenge Gunther. And I think that storyline makes the most sense coming out of Saturday Night Main Event. I'm still not sure what to make of Cody because it kind of feels like it's going to be Cena Cody, but I
don't want that. I don't want that because I love
Really?
Cody. I love Cody. I'm going to have to boo Cody Rhodes. I was at WrestleMania when Cody finally won, when he finished his story. I had my bedazzled Cody Rhodes shirt. If you guys think there's
breathing in Philadelphia.
Yes, I was in Philadelphia, and finally, I was like, "Oh my God, Cody, great!" Because I remember watching WrestleMania at home where Roman beat him, and I'm like, "Here we go! Like this is crazy."
I was there for that. That was
devastating,
baffling decision.
Oh my God! But man,
so who would you rather see Cody face if it's not John Cena?
Oh, I don't know, but I don't want it to be two of my faves. I need some type of bad guy. I would honestly not be mad at a WrestleMania with Randy Orton and John Cena. And I know you guys can hate me all you want, but that rivalry is fantastic. And I was also kind of hoping that we would get to see kind of an edge John Cena, which I know I can be cope, which terrible. Why would they do that? Why would
irony? Because people are definitely coping.
Yeah, I'm trying to cope with that one. Yeah, I would just I wanted him to revisit just some old feuds before he was gone, but I guess that's not happening. So for it to be Cody, I'm like, Cody needs to just be, I guess, very heel, because
I don't think we're getting that
for me, and I don't think we're gonna get that. So you're gonna have John Cena in his last match have Cody be booed out of the building like he did in AEW? That's crazy for me. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like that's where we're going with him, though. It does feel like Cena might win the Elimination Chamber, and he's going to challenge Cody. I'm very curious with the Roman and Rollins and Punk stuff to end this, where they're going with this. Because I don't think that Punk versus Rollins is the WrestleMania match. But it feels like they're building something. Maybe it'll be a triple threat. Maybe this is all to build to the Elimination Chamber, and those three guys are going to be in there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Tenruza saying Collision looked fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Usually I'm reviewing the AW Collision show, but not tonight. We have the Rumble, and I think Megan Bain made her debut for Collision tonight, so I'm going to have to go back and watch that because I am a really big Megan Bain fan, so shout outs to her. And Will Chisholm is saying people just mad because The Rock wasn't there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people really wanted to see The Rock.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he basically told you on Netflix, no, I'm not going to be there, guys.
He what was he doing? I haven't watched Moana 2 yet, which I honestly think is some of his best work. Um, in life. I do like him as a wrestler, but him as Maui and Moana, life changing. So yeah.
Yes.
Crazy 101 is saying, I just don't like the way Triple H books certain things. We would all book the show differently if we could, right? I would have penciled in Sol Ruka from NXT in there, you know? I maybe would have had Stephanie Vaquer start at 1 and go all the way to 30. You know, I would have had her have the longest time. We all have our preferences, and that's okay. We would do things differently, but it's okay to enjoy the show. We don't have to always be so critical of it. And I know that's sometimes hard for us as fans because we're so passionate about it and we love it. Sometimes we can just watch it.
Yeah, I think he's elaborating on his super chat from earlier when he was saying the man that doesn't see color did Cena dirty. I think what he's saying is, we didn't see a lot of black men in this Royal Rumble match represented very well. And I can't say that I disagree because, again, I didn't like the way Melo was used. I don't like the way he was eliminated, but I don't really understand what they're doing with Melo on the whole, so.
Yeah, which was just very confusing. And again, we didn't get to see it to a previous super chat that was sent. We didn't get to see the New Day. We got a lot of Mexican representation, which I absolutely love. We got to see all my luchadores. But yeah, I'm just, where was the NXT roster? What's going on here? Same thing with Oba.
Yes.
Oba was there.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen Oba Femi here. See, Crazy 101 saying that's what he meant.
Okay. Thank you for clarification. Appreciate it. Last ones, Walter, not that one, sent a super chat or humper chat. Luca to the Lakers. He said not that one. Luca to the Lakers is a bigger shock than Jey winning.
It is, honestly. I'm like, my phone is blowing up with people like, have you seen this trade? I'm just like, I can't get into it with you guys yet. Let's
not right now. Give me like 5
wrap
minutes.
the stream up. But I keep wanting to like blurt out like, can you believe this? And I'm like, this isn't a basketball stream. I can't do that.
I wish I watched basketball so I could participate, but it is what it is. Sorry, Phil. We are the CWA, right? CWO.
That's our official. We're going with that. CWA.
Is it CWA?
Chicago Wrestling Authority? So.
Oh yeah, CWA. I thought that was cute. I like that. I guess we'll leave it at that.
I like it. Let's do it.
So guys, thank you so much for joining us for this Rumble, for the stream. Thank you guys for participating, sending your super chats, your humper chats. We got a run-in from Sean Ross Sapp, who was in a very dark car, who he could have turned a light on, but it is what it is. You guys can
I was worried for him.
You guys can find me on YouTube. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Rest Friends. That's WREST Friends. I have a lot of vlogs up there. I have reactions. I have interviews. And follow me on all social media at Iridian_Fiero. And every Saturday, I am here doing the Collision post show with Cresta and Rick. So follow me. And yeah, I love you guys. Phil, where can our beautiful, wonderful, amazing Fightful family find you?
I am not on a Twitter machine as much as I used to be. A lot less since a certain guy running it has exposed himself to be kind of terrible. So I am on Blue Sky. You can find me there at phillindsay.bsky.social. You can also follow Grapsody on there as well. You can find me every Saturday at noon Eastern hosting Grapsody with Righteous Reg on this very YouTube channel. We just started our own YouTube channel. Can also subscribe to that, youtube.com/@Grapsody. I've seen people in our chat saying you can buy merch. If you want to buy one of these hats, you can buy one at grapsody.bigcartel.com.
Amazing. 10 out of 10. See us in the Rumble next year, guys. We're number 30 for the separate ones.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for all the super chats. Appreciate all the super chats and humper chats. This has been the CWA. I'm Phil Lindsey.
I'm Iridian Fiero.
We're out of here.
Bye, guys.